Hey there, amazing kids. It's me, Emily, and I'm back with more magical stories. I hope you loved the last tales I shared because I have so much more in store for you. As a good friend of Rodney, I've heard wonderful things about each of you: Mariah, Livia, Rodson, Isabella, and Leah. Your dad and uncle is bursting with pride when he talks about how bright your minds are and how big your hearts are. You all are truly special, and I can't wait to take you on another exciting adventure together. Today, I'm here to share some magical stories that will help you discover the amazing powers you hold inside. These stories are filled with fun adventures and important lessons about things like love, kindness, and believing in yourselves. You'll meet some incredible characters, learn about the laws of attraction, and explore how to manifest your dreams. So snuggle up and get comfortable because we're going on a journey through your imagination. Together, we'll find out how you can create the life you want, filled with joy, creativity, and love. Are you ready to begin? Let's dive into these exciting stories and unleash the magic within you, the Garden of Dreams. Mariah loved daydreaming about wonderful things, like having her own treehouse. But every time she started thinking about it, she'd worry. What if it never happens? She would ask herself. One day, her dad told her about a special garden that lives inside everyone's mind. He said, "When you think good thoughts, you water the flowers, but when you worry, weeds start to grow." Curious, Mariah decided to plant only good thoughts in her mind garden. She imagined the perfect treehouse, how she'd feel sitting in it, and what it would look like. Just like Neville Goddard's teachings, her imagination started creating a picture of her dream. She felt happy and hopeful, tending to her garden with love. Soon, Mariah noticed things falling into place. A friend of her dad offered them some leftover wood, perfect for building the treehouse. And her neighbor, who was a carpenter, said he'd help build it. The more Mariah focused on her good thoughts, the more her dream bloomed into reality, just like her dad said. From that day on, Mariah learned the power of focusing on the good. By imagining the best and watering her garden with love, she saw that dreams, just like flowers, grow when you believe in them. And her treehouse, it became the most magical place she could ever imagine. The treasure hunt of faith. Max loved racing go-karts more than anything else. He dreamed of building the fastest go-kart in his neighborhood, but he didn't know where to start. He would sit in his room, imagining how amazing it would feel to zoom down the street, the wind in his hair. But every time he thought about actually building the go-kart, doubt would creep in. What if I don't have all the right parts? What if I fail? He thought. That's when his dad shared some wise words from Jim Rohn. You become what you think about most. Max didn't fully understand what that meant at first, but one night, while lying in bed, he started thinking about his go-kart again. Only this time, he focused on what he wanted instead of what he was missing. He imagined himself putting it together, finding the right parts, and seeing it all come together. Every night before falling asleep, Max would imagine himself driving that go-kart, feeling the excitement as if it were already real. He began to believe in his dream more and more each day. Then, something amazing started to happen. One day, Max's uncle gave him some spare tires he didn't need anymore. A few days later, his neighbor mentioned he had extra wood in his garage, perfect for building the base of the go-kart. It was as if the universe was helping Max by providing everything he needed. Piece by piece, Max collected the parts to build his dream go-kart, all because he focused on his goal and believed in it. When Max finally completed his go-kart, he realized something powerful. By believing in his dream and focusing on it every day, he made it a reality. The lesson Jim Rohn had shared became crystal clear. What you focus on with faith will eventually show up in your life. So remember, just like Max, when you focus on your dreams and have faith, life has a way of bringing what you need right to your door. The Bridge of Belief. Livia had always loved singing, but when it came time to perform in front of her school, she felt too nervous. She was afraid people would laugh or that her voice might crack. One day, her mum sat with her and shared an important lesson from Rhonda Byrne. Act like it's already done. Livia didn't quite understand how that could work, but her mum explained that if she could believe in herself and imagine her performance going perfectly, she'd feel much better. That night, Livia tried something new. She stood in front of the mirror and closed her eyes, imagining herself standing confidently on the school stage. She pictured herself singing beautifully and the audience clapping with joy. The more she practiced this in her mind, the less nervous she became. Slowly, she started to believe in the version of herself that she saw in her imagination. On the day of the performance, Livia felt the butterflies in her stomach, but instead of letting them take over, she reminded herself of Rhonda Byrne's lesson. She took a deep breath and pretended it was already done, that she had already sung her song and everything had gone perfectly. And you know what? It did. Livia sang beautifully, and the crowd applauded just like she had imagined. After the show, Livia realized the power of believing in yourself. By imagining her success and acting like it was already done, she was able to cross the bridge of belief and make her dream come true. The river of focus. Leah loved watching the river flow by her house. It was peaceful, and she often imagined her thoughts being like the water, flowing toward whatever she was focused on. Her uncle Eric told her about a quote from Jim Rohn: "Where focus goes, energy flows." Leah loved that idea. It made her wonder if she could direct her energy the same way the river flows. Leah was working on a school project, but she kept getting distracted. She thought about the river and how it never stops flowing toward its destination. Inspired by her uncle's words, she decided to focus her thoughts, just like the river, on finishing her project. She set aside her distractions and poured all her energy into her work. At first, it wasn't easy, but soon she found herself in a rhythm. Her focus became like the steady flow of the river, and before she knew it, her project was coming together beautifully. She felt proud of herself, knowing that she had directed her energy towards something important. Leah learned that where she puts her focus, her energy follows, just like the river flowing toward its destination. From that day forward, she understood the power of focus in creating the life she wanted. The balloon of joy. Rodson was always curious about balloons. He loved watching them float higher and higher in the sky, and he wondered how they could stay up so effortlessly. One day, his sister Mariah shared something interesting with him that she had learned from Abraham Hicks. "Joy is like a balloon," she said. "The more happy thoughts you focus on, the higher your balloon rises." Rodson decided to test it out. Whenever he felt upset, he would close his eyes and think about the things that made him happy, like playing with his toy cars or spending time with his family. Every time he did this, he felt lighter, like his balloon was rising higher and higher. One day, when he felt frustrated about not being able to tie his shoes, he remembered Mariah's advice. Instead of staying upset, he focused on happy thoughts, and soon he felt calm and joyful again. His frustration disappeared, and he realized how powerful his mind was in changing his feelings. Rodson loved the idea that his joy was like a balloon, and he could lift it higher anytime he wanted. From then on, he chose to fill his mind with happy thoughts, knowing that it would always help his balloon soar. The invisible friend. Isabella felt lonely sometimes at school. She missed her old friends and wasn't sure how to make new ones. One day, her mum told her about an invisible friend who's always with her, Jesus. She said, "Even when you feel alone, remember, Jesus is always there to guide you and help you find the love you need." Isabella wasn't sure how to talk to someone she couldn't see, but she decided to try. Before going to bed, she whispered a little prayer, asking Jesus to help her find a friend at school. It made her feel a bit better, as if she wasn't really alone after all. The next day, something amazing happened. During recess, a girl named Emily asked Isabella if she wanted to play. They laughed and played together all afternoon, and soon they became good friends. Isabella realized that her prayer had been heard, and Jesus had guided her to the friendship she was looking for. From that moment on, Isabella knew she could always turn to her invisible friend, even when things felt tough. Jesus was always there, helping her find the love and comfort she needed. just when she needed it the most. The mirror of self-love. Leah often felt like she wasn't as smart or as good at things as other kids. She'd look in the mirror and focus on all the things she didn't like about herself. One day, her Aunt Bernadette shared a lesson from Dr. Joe Dispenza. Your thoughts create your reality. She told Leah that if she could change the way she thought about herself, everything would start to feel different. Leah wasn't sure how this would work, but she decided to try it. Every morning, she stood in front of the mirror and said kind things to herself. I am smart. I am beautiful. I am worthy. At first, it felt strange, but she kept doing it every day. Over time, something amazing happened. Leah began to feel more confident and happier with herself. She started to believe the kind words she was saying. At school, she felt more comfortable answering questions, and she even made new friends, all because she was changing the way she thought about herself. Leah realized the power of self-love. The more she practiced kindness toward herself, the more the world reflected that love back to her. Her thoughts truly did create her reality. The game of gratitude. Isabella was upset one day because she lost her favorite toy. No matter how much she searched, she couldn't find it, and it put her in a really bad mood. Her grandpa noticed and decided to teach her a game, one that he had learned from Rhonda Byrne. Let's play the gratitude game, he said. Whenever something goes wrong, think of 5 things you're grateful for. Isabella didn't feel like playing at first, but her grandpa encouraged her. She started listing things she was thankful for: her family, her cozy bed, her friends, her favorite snacks, and her bike. As she continued listing, she noticed something incredible. Her bad mood began to lift, and she started feeling better. Later that day, when Isabella went to bed, she found her lost toy right under her pillow. She realized that focusing on gratitude had not only changed her mood, but somehow brought her toy back to her as well. From then on, whenever something upset her, Isabella played the gratitude game. She found that the more she practiced gratitude, the more reasons life gave her to be thankful. The Star of Dreams. Livia loved looking up at the stars. She often imagined what it would be like to explore space and visit faraway planets. Her dad told her a story one night about Dr. Wayne Dyer, who said, "You become what you think about." That idea fascinated Livia. If she thought about being an astronaut, could she really become one? Livia decided to fill her mind with thoughts of space exploration. She started reading books about astronauts, watching documentaries about space, and even built a rocket out of cardboard in her backyard. Every night she would close her eyes and imagine herself flying through the stars, feeling the excitement of exploring new worlds. One day, her teacher announced a school science fair, and Livia knew exactly what she wanted to do. She created a project all about space, using everything she had learned. Her project was so impressive that she won first place. She realized that by filling her mind with thoughts of her dream, she had taken the first steps toward making it come true. Livia now knew the power of focused thought. By thinking about her dreams every day, she was already becoming the person she wanted to be. The stars were just the beginning, the field of faith. Rodson was playing soccer with his friends one day, but his team was losing by a lot of points. His teammates were starting to give up, saying there was no way they could win. But Rodson remembered something his mom had told him about Jesus' lesson. Faith as small as a mustard seed can move mountains. Even though it seemed impossible, Rodson decided to believe that his team could still win. He encouraged his teammates not to give up and to keep trying their best. Every time they played, Rodson believed in their ability to score, even when it seemed unlikely. His belief started to spread to the rest of the team, and soon everyone was playing with renewed energy and excitement. By the end of the game, something incredible happened. Rodson's team scored enough goals to tie the game, and in the final seconds, they scored the winning goal. His teammates couldn't believe it, but Rodson knew it was their faith that had made the difference. From that day on, Rodson understood the power of faith. Even when things seem impossible, a little bit of belief can create miracles. It's like Jesus said, faith, even as small as a mustard seed, can change everything. The magic of kindness. Livia noticed that a girl in her class, Sarah, always seemed sad and never played with anyone during recess. One day, Livia remembered something her grandma had taught her from Jesus' teachings. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Livia thought about how she would feel if she were in Sarah's shoes and decided to show her some kindness. The next day at recess, Livia walked over to Sarah and invited her to play. At first, Sarah seemed shy and unsure, but Livia kept smiling and encouraging her. Soon they were laughing and playing together like they had known each other for years. Sarah's sadness seemed to disappear, replaced by a big, bright smile. Over the next few weeks, Sarah started opening up more to the other kids, and she and Livia became close friends. Livia realized that her small act of kindness had made a huge difference in Sarah's life. By treating Sarah the way she would want to be treated, she had brought joy and friendship into her world. Livia learned that kindness is like magic. It has the power to change someone's day, and sometimes even their whole life. And the best part? That kindness comes back to you, just like Jesus said. The energy of joy. Leah didn't like doing her homework. Every time she sat down to study, she felt bored and frustrated. One evening, her Uncle Eric told her something interesting that he had learned from Dr. Joe Dispenza. The energy you give out is the energy you receive. He explained that if Leah approached her homework with joy instead of frustration, she might actually start to enjoy it. Leah didn't think that was possible at first, but she decided to give it a try. The next day, when she sat down to do her homework, she put on her favorite music and thought about how happy she would feel once it was done. She focused on finding the joy in learning something new. To her surprise, the more Leah focused on joy, the easier her homework became. She found herself finishing her assignments faster and even started to enjoy some of the subjects she had disliked before. Her mood was better and she felt proud of what she accomplished. Leah realized that by changing her energy, she had changed her experience. From then on, she made a habit of bringing joy into everything she did, knowing that the energy she put out would always come back to her. The seed of imagination. Isabella was struggling with her math homework. No matter how hard she tried, she just couldn't figure out the problems. She felt like giving up. That's when her dad shared a lesson from Albert Einstein. Imagination is more important than knowledge. He told Isabella that instead of worrying about what she didn't know, she could use her imagination to help her understand. Isabella didn't see how her imagination could help with math, but she decided to give it a try. She imagined her math problems as fun puzzles that she needed to solve, and suddenly, they didn't seem so scary. She pretended she was a detective, solving mysteries with each math equation. As she worked through her homework with this new mindset, Isabella started to see the problems more clearly. Her imagination helped her think of new ways to approach each question, and before she knew it, she had finished all her assignments. Isabella realized that her imagination was a powerful tool. By using it to approach challenges, she could turn even the hardest tasks into something fun and exciting. From that day on, she knew that her imagination could help her achieve anything. The magic of belief. Mariah loved the idea of magic, but she didn't believe in it. One night, her mum told her about Neville Goddard's teaching. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. She explained that the real magic in life comes from believing in your dreams, even before they happen. Mariah decided to try it out. She had always wanted to learn how to ride a bike without training wheels, but she was too scared to try. That night, she imagined herself riding her bike smoothly, without any help. She felt the wind on her face, the excitement of moving fast, and the pride of doing it all on her own. The next morning, Mariah went outside and decided to practice. Even though she was still a little nervous, she kept the feeling of success in her mind. After a few tries, something amazing happened. She did it. Mariah rode her bike without training wheels, just like she had imagined. Mariah learned that belief is the most powerful kind of magic. When you believe in something and you feel like it's already true, you make it possible. She was proud of herself for making her dream come true with the power of belief. The rainbow of faith. Rodson loved rainbows. Every time it rained, he would rush outside, hoping to see the colourful arc stretching across the sky. One day, his dad told him that seeing a rainbow is like having faith. It's something beautiful that shows up when you least expect it, but you have to believe in it, even when you can't see it. He shared a lesson from Jesus. Faith is believing in things unseen. Later that day, it started raining, but there was no rainbow in sight. Rodson stood by the window, staring at the cloudy sky. He remembered what his dad had said and decided to believe that the rainbow would appear, even if it wasn't there yet. He kept watching, full of faith, waiting patiently. After a while, just as the rain began to slow, Rodson's eyes lit up. There it was, a big, bright rainbow. It stretched across the sky, just like he had hoped. His faith had paid off, and he was thrilled to see it with his own eyes. Rodson realized that faith is like waiting for a rainbow. Even when things seem uncertain or cloudy, believing in the good can bring beautiful surprises into your life. It's all about trusting that something amazing is coming, even if you can't see it yet. The river of focus. Leah loved watching rivers flow, especially when she visited her grandparents' house in the countryside. She would sit by the river for hours, watching the water rush over rocks and around bends, always moving in one direction. One afternoon, her grandpa shared a lesson from Jim Rohn. Where focus goes, energy flows. He told Leah that just like a river flows in one direction, her energy and focus should flow toward her goals. Leah thought about this as she worked on her school project later that week. She had been getting distracted and struggling to finish it. But this time, she remembered the river and decided to focus all her energy on the project, just like the river focused on flowing downstream. She imagined her thoughts moving like water, pushing her toward the finish line. To her surprise, Leah finished the project much faster than she expected. Her focus had helped her work smoothly and without distraction. She felt proud of what she had created, and her teacher was impressed with her work. Leah learned that when she focused on one thing at a time, just like a river flows toward its destination, she could achieve her goals more easily. It was all about letting her energy flow in the right direction. The balloon of joy. Livia adored balloons, especially the way they floated up into the sky, carried by the wind. One day, her Aunt Bernadette told her that her joy was like a balloon. She shared a teaching from Abraham Hicks. The more you focus on happy thoughts, the higher your joy will rise. Livia was curious. Could her joy really float higher, just like a balloon? Livia decided to test this idea. The next time she felt upset because she couldn't find her favorite toy, she stopped and remembered the balloon. She took a deep breath and started thinking of things that made her happy. Her family, her friends, her dog, and all the fun things she liked to do. She imagined her joy floating higher and higher with each happy thought. As she did this, Livia's mood began to lift. She felt lighter, just like a balloon rising into the sky. Soon, she wasn't upset about her toy anymore, and instead, she was filled with happiness. Livia discovered that her joy was something she could control. By choosing to focus on positive thoughts, she could lift her spirits just like a balloon, no matter what was happening around her. The invisible friend. Isabella often felt lonely at school because her best friend had moved away. One day, her mom shared a special lesson with her. She told Isabella that even when it feels like no one is there, Jesus is always with her like an invisible friend. You are never truly alone, her mom said. Jesus is always by your side. Isabella wasn't sure at first. Could she really feel better just by knowing Jesus was there, even if she couldn't see him? The next day at school, when she started to feel lonely, she decided to try talking to him. She whispered to herself, telling Jesus about her day, and imagined him listening to her with kindness and love. To her surprise, Isabella felt a little better. She didn't feel quite so alone anymore. As the days went on, she continued talking to Jesus whenever she felt lonely, and soon she found new friends at school. It was like the love and comfort she felt from her invisible friend helped her connect with others. Isabella learned that even when it seems like no one is there, Jesus is always with her, offering love and friendship, and knowing that gave her the courage to open her heart to others. The magic of forgiveness. Mariah had a fight with her best friend over something small, but it made her feel really upset. She didn't want to be mad, but she couldn't shake the anger. Her dad noticed how sad she was and shared a lesson he had learned from Jesus. Forgive and you will be forgiven. He explained that holding on to anger only hurt her, but forgiving could make her feel free again. Mariah didn't know if she was ready to forgive, but she didn't like feeling so heavy inside. She decided to give it a try. She closed her eyes and imagined herself letting go of the anger, like letting go of a balloon into the sky. She said in her heart, "I forgive my friend, I want to feel better." The next day, Mariah felt lighter, as if a weight had been lifted from her shoulders. When she saw her friend at school, they both apologized, and soon they were laughing and playing together again. Mariah realized that forgiving had set her free and made room for happiness to come back into her life. She learned that forgiveness is a powerful magic. It doesn't just heal relationships, it also heals your own heart, making it possible to feel joy again. The treasure of gratitude. Rodson loved pirates and treasure maps. One day, his dad gave him a special map and told him it led to the greatest treasure of all, gratitude. His dad explained that when you're grateful, it's like finding hidden treasure in every day. He shared a lesson from Jim Rohn. Gratitude turns what we have into enough. Rodson decided to follow the treasure map. He began looking for things in his life that made him happy. His family, his toys, his favorite foods. Every time he found something he was grateful for, it felt like discovering a shiny gold coin. He realized that his life was full of treasures he hadn't noticed before. As Rodson practiced gratitude, he found that he felt happier and more excited about each day. It was like his world had become filled with hidden treasures, just waiting to be discovered. Rodson learned that gratitude is the key to feeling rich, not in money, but in love, joy, and happiness. The more grateful he was, the more treasures life gave him to appreciate. The magic of dreams. Leah often dreamed of being a famous artist, but she didn't think it was possible. One day, her Aunt Bernadette shared a lesson from Neville Goddard. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. She explained that if Leah could believe in her dream and feel like it was already true, she could make it real. Leah decided to give it a try. Every day, she imagined herself painting beautiful pictures and sharing them with the world. She felt the excitement of being an artist, even though it hadn't happened yet. She began drawing and painting more, feeling like her dream was already starting. One day, Leah's school announced an art contest, and Leah entered one of her paintings. To her amazement, she won first place. Her dream was coming true, just like she had imagined. Leah learned that believing in her dreams was the first step to making them real. By feeling the joy of success before it even happened, she had made space for her dream to come true. The bridge of belief. Isabella wanted to try out for the school play, but she was scared. What if she forgot her lines? What if no one liked her performance? Her mum reminded her of a lesson from Rhonda Byrne. Act like it's already done. If Isabella believed in herself, her confidence could make her dream come true. Isabella practiced her lines every day, but she also practiced believing. She imagined herself on stage, saying her lines perfectly and hearing the audience clap for her. She felt what it would be like to succeed, even before she auditioned. When the day of the audition came, Isabella still felt a little nervous, but she also felt strong. She walked on stage, just like she had imagined, and delivered her lines with confidence. Later, when the cast list was posted, Isabella's name was on it. She had gotten the part. Isabella learned that belief in herself had created a bridge between her dream and her reality. By acting like it was already done, she had made her dream come true. The power of focus. Rodson had always loved playing with building blocks, but he often got frustrated when his towers fell. One afternoon, his uncle Eric told him something important he had learned from Jim Rohn. Where focus goes, energy flows. He explained that if Rodson focused on one block at a time, he could build the tower of his dreams. Rodson decided to give it a try. Instead of rushing and trying to stack the blocks quickly, he took his time. He focused on each block, making sure it was steady before adding the next. Slowly but surely, his tower grew taller and taller. Before he knew it, he had built the tallest tower he had ever made. Rodson felt proud of his achievement. He realized that by focusing his energy and attention on each small step, he could create something amazing. The power of focus helped him achieve his goal. From that day on, Rodson applied the same principle to other things in his life, whether it was homework or learning a new skill. He learned that focusing on the process, one step at a time, could lead to big successes. The Garden of Patience. Livia had planted some sunflower seeds in the garden with her mum, but after a few days, she grew impatient. "Why aren't they growing yet?" she asked. Her mom smiled and told her a story about Jesus and the power of patience. Seeds take time to grow, just like our dreams. You have to believe and wait, even when you don't see anything happening right away. Livia wasn't sure she liked waiting, but she decided to trust her mum's words. Every day, she watered the seeds and made sure they got plenty of sunlight. Even though nothing seemed to be happening at first, she kept believing that one day the sunflowers would bloom. A few weeks later, little green shoots started to appear. Livia was excited. As the days went on, the shoots grew taller, and soon the sunflowers bloomed, their bright yellow petals reaching up toward the sky. Livia learned the value of patience. Just because you don't see immediate results doesn't mean nothing is happening. Sometimes the best things take time to grow, and faith helps you wait for them. The river of creativity. Isabella loved drawing, but one day she felt stuck. No matter how hard she tried, she couldn't think of anything new to create. Her dad noticed her frustration and shared a teaching from Abraham Hicks. Let go and allow the flow of creativity. He explained that creativity is like a river. You can't force it. You have to let it flow naturally. Isabella decided to take a break from trying so hard. Instead of forcing herself to draw, she went outside and played. She watched the birds, listened to the wind, and relaxed. As she let her mind wander, new ideas started to come to her, like a flowing river. Later that evening, Isabella sat down with her sketchbook, and the ideas flowed out of her effortlessly. She created a beautiful drawing, more amazing than anything she had imagined before. Isabella realized that sometimes you need to step back and let go in order to let creativity flow. By allowing her mind to relax, she had opened the door to new inspiration. The Compass of Faith. Leah loved exploring new places in the woods near her house, but sometimes she got lost. One day, her grandpa gave her a compass and explained how it always points north, helping you find your way no matter where you are. He told her faith was like a compass for life. When you're unsure, let your faith guide you. Leah wasn't sure what that meant, but the next time she went exploring and felt unsure of which path to take, she remembered her grandpa's words. She took a deep breath and trusted her intuition, feeling like her faith was guiding her just like the compass did. To her surprise, Leah found her way back home easily. She realized that even when she didn't know the exact path, her faith had helped her feel calm and confident. Leah learned that faith is like a compass. It doesn't always show you the whole journey, but it helps you trust in the direction you're going, guiding you through life's uncertainties. The secret path of creativity. Leah's 8th birthday was coming up on October 21st, and everyone knew she was an amazing artist. She could draw the most beautiful pictures with colors that seemed to jump off the page. One day, Leah was feeling stuck. She wanted to create something new for her birthday but didn't know where to start. Her dad told her about something he learned from Abraham Hicks. When you follow your joy, everything you need comes to you. Leah thought about what made her happiest, drawing rainbows, animals, and magical forests. She started to focus on how much fun she had while drawing and how good it felt to create from her imagination. As she let her joy lead the way, her hand began to move effortlessly across the paper. Soon, she had drawn the most magical, colorful forest she had ever imagined. Leah realized that when she trusted her joy and imagination, creativity flowed easily, just like magic. On her birthday, Leah shared her drawing with her family, and everyone was amazed at her beautiful artwork. Leah discovered that when you follow what makes you happy, incredible things happen. Her joy was the key to unlocking her creative power. The carousel of gratitude. Rodson, who loved merry-go-rounds, learned something new when he visited the carnival with his family. As they rode the carousel, his dad told him about the power of gratitude and how it's like spinning in circles, spreading good feelings all around. Inspired by Rhonda Byrne's teaching, gratitude brings more good things into your life, Rodson decided to try something. With every spin of the carousel, he thought of one thing he was grateful for. "I'm grateful for my mom, my dad, my toys, and my friends," he whispered. As the carousel spun, Rodson noticed how happy he felt. It was like the more thankful he was, the more joyful the ride became. When they got off, Rodson felt full of love and appreciation, ready to give out even more kindness to everyone around him. Rodson learned that when we focus on what we're grateful for, life feels like a joyful ride, just like the carousel. Gratitude makes everything in life more fun and full of love. The shield of kindness. Livia loved superheroes, especially the ones with shields. One day, her mum told her that kindness could be her own superpower. "Kindness is like a shield," her mum said, "and when you're kind to others, it protects you and brings you closer to everyone." Inspired by Jesus' teaching, "Do unto others as you would have them do unto you," Livia decided to try it out. At school, instead of getting upset when a classmate was mean, she smiled and said something kind in return. To her surprise, the classmate started being nicer. Livia began to see how her shield of kindness worked. Even when people were upset or angry, her kindness helped calm them down and made them feel better. She realized that by being kind, she could create a peaceful world around her, just like a superhero. From that day on, Livia carried her shield of kindness wherever she went. She knew that with kindness, she could turn any situation into something better, just like a real hero would. The mirror of joy. Mariah, at 11, was curious about how to stay happy, even when things didn't go her way. One day, her dad shared with her a teaching from Dr. Joe Dispenza. "The energy you give out is the energy you receive." He told her that life is like a mirror, reflecting back what you send out. Mariah decided to test it out. She started her morning by looking in the mirror and smiling at herself, saying, "Today is going to be a great day." Throughout the day, whenever she felt frustrated or upset, she reminded herself to send out good energy by smiling, even if she didn't feel like it. To her surprise, everything around her seemed to get better. Her friends were nicer, her teachers were more fun, and even her little brother Rodson was being sweet. Mariah realized that by choosing to send out joy and positivity, she was creating a world full of happiness. From then on, Mariah loved looking into the mirror and reminding herself that she had the power to create her own joyful world just by being joyful herself. And that wraps up our enchanting journey through the magical stories today. Each adventure has shown us how powerful our thoughts and feelings can be, and how we can use them to shape our own realities. Remember, just like Mariah, Livia, Rodson, Isabella, and Leah, you have the special gift of imagination and belief within you. As you continue to explore your own gardens of dreams and embark on treasure hunts of faith, always know that you are loved and supported by your dad, Uncle Rodney, and all of us cheering for you. Keep dreaming big, believing in yourselves, and spreading kindness everywhere you go. Until next time, let your imagination soar and keep shining brightly.